when I choose something, I choose it for its kind of multiple references. So if a bird is introduced into my painting, it's a number of things I'm thinking about in relationship to it. The flowers, as I always point out, always have to do with my mother, and they're not just any flowers. They're some of her, favorites. All of them were her favorites. But, I often think of the larger paintings, certainly involving, what I could only characterize as a type of research. It's my own, that I go and find these sources I need. Even whether it's the right type of grass growing on the ground, or the right house that's a New England house, or a memory of, a house I want, or a memory of a pear tree that was in our yard, whatever it was. So I suppose all along I'm setting up these symbols. I never think of them that way. I just think that, I want it to have an appropriateness in this painting. So I always like to feel that the things chosen are chosen, not just arbitrarily. I don't want just a straight portrait, so I want something else there that lends maybe this potential literature to it, or this other feeling to it. The boat that I put in the hands of the Armenian brother in that painting. Armenia are essentially landlocked, but people that have kind of, besides the genocide, then there's the diaspora, so they're all over the place. I think the toy sometimes goes hand in hand with that idea of loss, and a kind of recollection. And then I think it's hard to get around the fact that, the reflection on the toy is a reflection on a life. What evolved, besides my handling of the medium and a kind of recognition of things that needed to be there structurally, things that are really purely formal, that have to do with making the two-dimensional surface alive, is that I all of a sudden come to some understanding of a part in a painting. But it's about a kind of integrity and a search for really coming to some understanding and empathy with what's going on as somebody sits like this. What happens to clothing when someone sits? I find that all really the reason I paint now. The involvement is all I want to do, and I sometimes feel like it's how I even have my equilibrium. So the process is very important, but that wouldn't be the end in itself. I am interested in the paintings coming to some resolution and some existence. I believe all that process and all that, again, that kind of transformation is necessary for it to be so, for it to be a painting. But I know by the time I'm done with the painting, there have been kind of substantial decisions made in it that are of interest to me. In the last, decade or so, the work still goes through a lot of turmoil, but I have this kind of, sense that it will come out on the other side and be one of my paintings.